there, my name is Mason. Welcome to Roadcraft, a game about teaching you the art of being patient and being zen. It's a game where if you try and do anything fast, you will have a bad time. There are very few things in this game that you can actually do quickly and fast. Most of them are not gonna happen often. Can we do campaigns? Yeah, so I've been playing this the last year for a while. I did almost 20 hours in it. And it's meditative, so to speak. Let's do Billy Bob's. Billy Bob's. Up, Billy Bob's. Big. I need another B word. Big bonanza. Oh, God, I forgot how to spell fucking bonanza. Holy shit. Oh, wait, no, it's not bonanzas. It's bon. Good old English. Stealing from other bonanza. That sounds French. It's close enough. If it's not, we'll say it's a regional dialect. We'll accept that. So we can start with our basic vehicle. Billy Bob's B. Okay. Choose this vehicle, the other one will not be available. In this playthrough, you will be able to purchase the upgraded version of both vehicles in the shop. Oh god, it's fucking inverted. Pushing right goes to the left, pushing left goes to the right. Oh fuck me, why is it inverted? Whatever. So you can choose a pickup truck for this one. Stability is how likely it is to basically roll over. That's pretty much it. Mobility is how easily it'll move through the environment, which is generally, I prefer that. Accept that. Oh, that's right, it changes everything. It doesn't really matter what you choose. We're going with this one. Fuel? We're not doing fuel. No. Trip. That's fine. We'll keep everything else normal. Recovery rolls normal. Vehicle cost, we're keeping that normal. We're just turning off fuel. It just slows down the game. So does the convoy difficulty. Yeah, sure. Alright, so we get to choose all this. You do have to go through various steps before you can go through to get to the final one. So, if I remember correctly, you have to go through Precipice to Aftermath, then you choose Sunken or Incommunicado, and then you have to choose, I think you have to do all 3 of the next ones to gain access to, or 2 of the next ones to go to the Colonel, which is the final quest, or final whatever. We gotta change our name. Oh, it's 2. Alright, fine. Billy Bob's. Space. Put Bond. Will that work? Accept. Billy Bob Bond. Beautiful. Oh, that's right. We can have a load. Oh, that's okay. I have no idea what happened there, but something happened. Whatever. Shop. There are all of these vehicles. I forget. Well, I guess we don't have the DLC. I know I have some DLC. Just came with the edition I purchased. Whatever. There are a large amount of vehicles in this game. A lot of them are just variations of other trucks. Now, for example, like these are your moving trucks. They're also your dump trucks. And once we get into the game, you'll see that you get basic trucks as you progress through the levels, and you get the opportunity to buy an upgraded version of that truck. Most of the time, it's worth it to buy the upgraded version. You just need to make sure it's a truck you're going to be using, and using often. So, for example, like if it's a dump truck, I would recommend, or a hauling truck, I'd recommend upgrading those over doing something like the cargo truck, which is like an 18-wheeler, which is this one, I guess, the Wayfarer. Mainly because the 18-wheeler, or the Wayfarer, it requires pretty much a smooth surface, a level surface, and it has to be wide enough turns to make it pass through. So you have to improve and fix the roads to a certain level for that to be of real use to you. So it's very hard to use it effectively, but it can be done. This game is improved by playing with friends if your friends are not assholes. I say that with the greatest respect for my asshole friends. It's funny when they knock you over the first couple times. When you're just trying to complete a quest, it gets very, very annoying. But for the most part, it can be nice. Having your friends help you is a great way to basically just get the game going faster and completing more than you want to. So this game, like I said, is all about taking your time and understanding what the game wants from you. The game wants you a lot of times to do things in a specific order, such as clearing debris from a road, then rebuilding the road, or building a bridge so that you can travel, so you can traverse the route easier. Or if you don't want to build a bridge, you can go and take the long way around. So this is the tutorial level. We're in North Africa. We are to assist in reinforcing the shoreline. Right? Got it.
Hey there.
Hang on. Settings. Where the fuck is the invert? Camera. Invert. Invert both.
The name's Kelly, and I'll be your friendly neighborhood dispatcher for today. And every day unless we screw something up. Then the company replaces us, like dead batteries. But until then, I'll be here to help as much as I can. Not that you need much help with your first task. You need to head to the lookout point and take in the general layout of that town on the coast. They're bracing for one hell of a storm. I suggest you get on with the agenda before the storm hits.
There we are. And this is so much better. I push up, the camera looks down. Push down, the camera looks up. I push left, the camera goes left. I push right, the camera goes right. Hang on, is that... Since I re-downloaded this, it's been a bit... horizontal. Is that better? That goes down, that goes left, right. Push up. No. No, I think I like it the other way. Invert both, yes. Fix points. Camera shake, that's fine. Alright. Oh, hang on. Settings. Audio. Mono, doesn't matter. Voice chat, off. Always off. Just because I don't want anyone joining the game. They shouldn't be able to, but we'll hopefully not. So, we have a few options we can do here. We can drive. And because we don't have any fuel, we are good to go. That's low gear. is our ejected tracker. Yes. X, it frees up all our tires, if I remember correctly, so that we can make sharper turns. Y does differential lock, which means the wheels all go at the same rate. That's... Hang on. I think we just want horizontal. I think that's the way I... Yes, that's the way. Okay. Change of view. Oh, cinematic. No. Oh. So your vehicles are very easy to flip if you are not careful. Right, left.
Enjoying the sights? I often hear they're the best part of your job. At least your job has a best part. I have to make do with cheap coffee and a broken AC. Ready for your next mission? Well, aren't you lucky? Investigate the phosphate plant. Not too exciting, but who am I to argue, right? Go take a look.
Hang on. It just feels fucking weird now. Do not invert. Why'd it go in the parking brake? Whatever. My muscle memory's coming back, and maybe it feels it feels inverted, but it also feels right. So there's multiple types of terrain. Right now we're on the paved road, so some vehicles travel faster on the paved road. Paved roads also give you better traction. This is very important, especially for our little scout vehicle here. So low gear is typically better to make sure you have max traction. All-wheel drive is great if you're having trouble getting traction. And Y is good to have on. If you're towing heavy loads, you want low gear on and potentially differential lock on as well. So we have a scan ability with this truck. Green is safe, yellow is hazardous, and red is very dangerous, meaning you can get struck very easily. Stuck, not struck. Very easily. So B. This is very, very useful when you're trying to plan your way, if you're going to rebuild a road or make a path for your group to go through. So you can see we need to get over here. I can tell you from experience we have to go through the mud to get over to this location. Originally I had planned to go straight through, but that's just a kind of red herring. And we have a nice fog of war, so the more we explore, the more we can see. Now, there will be collectibles, I guess upgrades might be a better way to say it, if I remember right. Or is that SnowRunner? I forget which game it is. Are going to be on the map that we need to find. I think we can find vehicles on the map, which is one of the first things you want to do. What's an object scanner? I think that's for quests. So we want to avoid the red. Up B. If we can. But if we take, like, out of low gear, we can move faster, but you can see that we start to spin, so we got to put it back in low gear, and it'll slowly work through. There we go. All-wheel drive on. That's all wheels are now providing power. Return differential. See, we're slipping now. If you're not sure if you're doing, or the vehicle is doing what you want, you can always turn stuff on and off. And it's not that big of a deal, especially early on. Now, vehicles can flood, meaning if you get too far in the water, your vehicle will... Oh, deep water, right there. So you have to avoid deep water with most vehicles, because if your vehicle gets... Can I attach it? There we go. Hang on, I forget how the winch works. Action, oh there it is. Detach winch. Having a winch on your vehicle is very, very valuable. It allows you to move around obstacles like the mud that we're in right now fairly easy. The downside is that you can pull yourself and cause yourself to flip over if you're not careful. Now, as you notice, there is terrain deformation happening, meaning that we're destroying the terrain as we're going through it. Now, that's not bad in... I'll aim our winch. That is not bad if we're on like a dry area like this road that we're on right now. This section is dry, over there is wet, because in the dry one, we're not going to really destroy the road. But if we're in the mud, we're creating ruts that we now have to traverse again if we go through there, that we'll have to combat if we try and go through there. So you want to choose a path kind of carefully, especially if it's an area you're going to have to go back and forth over and over again. But we're going to be pretty much fine here. Let's remote. Okay. Do this. We're going to activate our winch. Tap it. Now the winch is activated. The line is taut. Take our braking brake off. No reverse. We opened up one door. Then we're going to go actions. We're going to detach the winch. Parking brake again. We're going to aim the winch. Attach it. Remove the parking brake. And we're just going to roll back a bit. And detach it again. Doors like this are typically best just pushed open with your vehicle. Trying to actually pull them open is a pain in the ass and is generally not great unless you absolutely have to. You see objectives. Hey, there's a new vehicle. So track objectives. We want to clear this place of debris, and to do that we need a vehicle. Push A to focus your camera on an objective. We're going to track it, and now it's going to be mapped. Now we could, in theory, do this all with our little truck. But we do not want to do that with our little truck. Why? Because our little truck is not powerful enough to move a lot of this, but it's great for getting around the map. So we can go like this, we can go right bumper, we can go through every vehicle on our current map. And we can go to focus the camera on it so we can see where it's at, or we can enter it. Now, for every set of vehicles that are out there, they all have different controlling modes. Some push, some pull, some lift, some carry, some pave, some flatten. It all depends on what you want to do. So this one is great for pushing and leveling out sand, basically.
Hey, you're not a bad navigator. To be fair, a child could handle it if they could reach the gas pedal. Still, you did fine too, so kudos to you. Now it's time to get you to your forward base. It's not much to look at, but should keep you warm. Oh, and on your way there, be a darling and clear the plant's old entrance for the cavalry. They're coming later, if the higher-ups don't cut the funding. Now,
if we also look in the bottom right, you see that we have some some of our options are now locked. We have absolutely no control over what we have that we can move. So for now, our differential's locked, our all-wheel drive is locked, and basically everything is locked right now because we're in the move mode. So now we're gonna try pushing. And we just need to get this out of the way. We are limited in our pushing power by what we can actually get out of the way. Now, a lot of times they just want you to move it enough out of the way to allow other vehicles to get through. So we could push it in to the environment or into our plant. Yeah, the plant here. But we're not going to. So let's go like this. Drop it down. If you drop it too low, we're going to risk destroying the environment. Now you'll see that we can't go any lower than this. That could be because there's something interfering with it, or it's just as low as this goes. So if you want to go lower, you need to actually go through and adjust the blade. But this is only level with the spot we're at. So if we go forward, you see that the road actually goes down. So we're going to actually start digging into the soil if we're not careful. But our goal here is just to push this out of the way. And as it gets out of the way, you see that the little triangle disappears from the object as well. Now we want to make sure it's far enough out of our way, because spoiler, we're going to have to traverse this with another vehicle. Yeah, we're unable to dig in this area. That's because our front of our vehicle is hitting the soil, or the ground, if you will. This vehicle is very easy to flip over because its point of pivot is in the center of it, not off to the side or by one of the wheels. So if you're not careful, you can very easily screw yourself out. I'm going to enter U. And where are we going to go now for our objective? Visit our main. Alright. Turn you off. Turn that off. All-wheel drive doesn't really hurt you. A lot of times it just speeds up the vehicle's momentum. Now, once again, we want to be careful. The game really penalizes you if you use too much speed. However, other times it doesn't care if you use too much speed. Like through this, we're going to be fine. But as you can tell, this road is very, very bumpy. And the faster you go, the more likely you are going to be to flip over. Now, flipping over isn't the end of the world. However, it does mean you now have to, if we were to flip over here, the game will probably respawn us back over here, and we have to make this trip all over again. Now, flipping over when you have a load of resources, such as concrete, to help build a bridge or something like that, means you have to then come with another vehicle to go pick up the concrete, reload it, so that you can continue to travel with it. It's even more frustrating when you're right next to a spot where you're trying to work, and you flip over the vehicle you need to work there. Like the grader or the little bulldozer we had there. If we needed that to our spot where, let's say we needed to flatten this area out over here after we filled it with sand, but we flipped it over, that means we have to drive it all the way back over here again to get it so that we can use it. think we should be able to go this way. Now that may not sound like it's too annoying, but it gets very annoying when you're traveling halfway across the map, because that's the closest spot you can get. This is all easy terrain. Turn off this. Oh, this is the wrong spot. This is for something else. And of course, it just happens to rain in all the spots that you have to go through. And you can make your own shortcuts. Fucking rocks, I forgot about the rocks. If you're willing to risk it for the biscuit, so to speak. Brake on. What do you want me to do now?
Welcome. The good news is you're in charge now. Bad news is the storage and allocation of resources are all on you. So use them wisely. And remember, a penny saved is a penny earned. For the company. Well, on to your next job. Storm's rolling in, and we need to build a flood wall before it does. Before it rolls in, I mean. Storms seldom build walls. First, we need to plot a route from the base to the phosphate plant. Once we do that, we can deliver the crane parts to make the wall.
Alright. Build a... okay. It's an infrastructure route. Okay, so we need to build a route from here all the way down to here to deliver the resources. This is why we cleared out this spot, and we were technically supposed to go this way, but we didn't know that existed, so we went the long way around. We went this way. Now, building these little routes is very important. This is how you move resources around, and there's always these little quests for you to complete. You also want to choose the points about where the vehicles will go. And you want to make sure that you're careful about how they're going to make turns. Because if you're not careful, you can actually have the trucks flip over. So for example, it may be better to go off to the right here with these points, whereas you may be better go on the right side. It just depends on what is there. Like right here, there's this weird terrain, so we may need to go off to one of the sides. You may also may need to come in here and actually fix the road a bit, so that your trucks can make it. Let's try this. Go off the road a little bit there. Now, if the points of your turning are too steep, the trucks won't make it. They'll flip over, and it'll tell you, hey, the angle is too sharp. You need to do something about that. But for the most part, this is pretty good about recognizing the correct way to do this. Now, occasionally the AI will be an idiot, but for the most part, it's pretty decent. This will give us not only give us resources, but also allow us to move any resources potentially that's at this base to where we need it. Typically, you'll be moving stuff to your bases, not from your base. but that comes in later when you start actually making or recycling resources. So we'll dispatch, and we need to follow this vehicle. We don't have to follow the vehicle. Initially, we're going to follow this vehicle because we need to make sure this vehicle can make it. And if this vehicle has any issues, we want to make sure that we can address it so that we can complete this quest. Now, the more efficient your route is, the more you get per truck. And the faster it goes. Which is why typically you want to find the most effective route for your trucks. If I remember correctly, the trucks will damage the roads if the roads are able to be damaged, like going through wet sections. So if this truck, our lead truck, damages the road, the second one may make it through, but the third one may succumb to the viscous nature of the mud, having the first two trucks gone through and destroyed the road too much. So then we need to go through and adjust the pathing, or go through and fix it ourselves by putting sand in there. So we can see that these guys are most likely going to make it. This might be too steep for them, this climb. Yeah, so okay, it looks like they're actually going to do it. The trucks that are hauling, sometimes they have a bit too, they're not very powerful, or going up a steep hill is too much for them, so they'll just lose energy, which means you have to go through and make the road less steep, or find a new route for them. Like this is an issue. Nope, they made it. Nope. So like this one, they're having trouble, like, uh-oh, we can't get in there, even though they've already arrived. Why are they doing this? There's no real clue, but hey, it worked. So that's done. That route is complete. We need to make sure. That's good. Okay, objectives. Find and recover a generator. Alright, so we'll track that. Infrastructure. We have this going. And you see that we have a remaining reward here. So as this goes through, it's going to continue to give us rewards until the remaining rewards are used up. Once it's used up, we can cancel the route and free up resources and potentially build another route if we choose. This is where having it be very effective, very concise and efficient is really important. Occasionally there is nothing you can do about it. You just have to have an inefficient route. I think because it's green, it's an efficient route. I forget there's a way to see if it's an efficient route or not. That doesn't really matter. Not at this point. I think it'll tell you if it's an inefficient route. So we're going to find and do that. We have our vehicle. So we need to go find this now. So we're going to take our little truck or scout vehicle and we're going to go do exploring.
Looks like we're gonna need a generator for the phosphate plant. There should be one somewhere close to the abandoned facility. Check your map. If you can find it, bring it back to the garage inside the abandoned facility.
Yep. Now there's a lot in this world you can manipulate, like these wagons here. We can pull them out of the way or push them out of the way, whatever we need to do to allow us to complete our goal. The game does not really care as long as you're able to do it. Well, as long as you're able to complete your quest. There are a few things that the game will care about, like, hey, you can't do that because it breaks part of the game mechanics, but overall it's going to be fine. Oh, this is... That's right, it's all flooded. Alright, we'll see if we can do this without flipping. With an object scanner, okay. So we're looking for a quest item, basically. You won't have to do this much, except for in quest pieces. So it's over there, or it's there, and we need to get it to that line, basically. So how do we get it there? We have to do some minor puzzle thing. Essentially, we have to go through this little maze to get it to that spot. Now, this, later in the game, if you can, you'll want to use a crane truck to lift it and put it on another truck. It just means it's going to be moving faster. For now, we're going to drag it. So we have interactive. So we have markings here. Line up correctly. Low gear, put the brake on. Aim our object scanner. We know it's over there. Terrain. A lot of water. We're gonna aim the winch. Can we? Oh no, we got to just hit it, right? I forget if it's something we pump, we push, or we push it. I forget if it's something we push or pull. Now this is where the game really starts to say, hey, have you been paying attention? Brake, put the brake on. Structure, remaining reward, okay. We're getting done with it. So we need to knock these over. Nice and careful. Let it fall. I've had the vehicle flip knocking these over. So give a nice little kiss with the front of your vehicle and then move on. Oh, we have a hole there. Is it this that's slowing us down? Hang on. No, we want that. Turn low gear off. That's what it's doing. Slow down. Oh. See that we almost went over the edge. Low gear on. Yeah, we almost went over the edge twice there because we were just a little bit too fast. And the traction hit, and then we have no way to slow it down once we start to get, once it breaks traction. Because the controls aren't terribly responsive. They're good. But it'd probably be better if you have like a wheel. But then again, this is teaching you just how to traverse environments and use what the devs gave you to solve their puzzles. Like, when you're looking around, what has the dev put here for us to mess with? And do we actually have to mess with it, or is this something we need to ignore? Can I make this turn? No. That's because we have the rear differential locked. Because remember, slow and steady. We do not care about going fast right now. Can I hit you with the winch? That's too far. Alright. We're going to put the brakes on, and then we're going to pull the winch. Backwards. We're going to pull the winch. See that the winch is, the box is actually heavier than we are, which is not good. So we have to be careful with that. Slow down. Now we need to get it over there. So what we're going to do is attach the winch to the rear. Up. Brake down. Sure. Why not? That's fine. It probably has a do not tip sign on it, but whatever. So we want to go slowly through here. Back up a bit. It. There. Now we just have to drag it over there and we're good to go. Turn our rear differential back on. Now if we drop this in the water, I think we fail automatically. We need to change the winch. What are you doing? Connected over there. As long as it's there mostly in one piece, they don't care. Oh, activate. And this is where the terrain scanners will come in handy. Typically you want to head towards like the concrete sections because they aren't going to sink into the mud. Beautiful. Got a new vehicle. All hands on deck.
You wrapped up all the prep work nicely. I knew I could rely on you, which is especially great since I had nobody else to rely on. You're the only contractor in the sector. The fate of everything rests upon you. No pressure. Besides, the only thing left to do is to build the flood wall before the storm hits. First, you'll need to scoop up some concrete slabs. There should be plenty around your base. Naturally, you'll want to use the crane to move them. Then you need to drop them off in the loading area. Easy as pie, right? I could go for some pie. Anywho, the generator's in working order, so now you just need to make sure it's delivered. Shouldn't be too hard. Just plot a course from the workshop to the phosphate plant.
Absolutely. So, we have this vehicle here in this abandoned factory. There is no real reason to have this vehicle here. And, if I remember correctly, we can actually there's a way to recover the vehicle without having to actually have to drive it all the way back. Alright, so here we go. We have this one. So we need to move it to use the crane to move that. Oh, we have to move. That's right. So this we have to be careful with. What we have to be careful with here is when you're moving resources out of your base and when you're adding them to there, it's very easy to put back anything you just loaded onto a truck back into the base, and then you have to start over again and again and again, and it's not fun, so to speak. Alright, so this vehicle also, you can use this one as a type of transporter if you are careful. There should be a way to anchors. There we go. So anchors stabilize the vehicle. If you're on a slope, you need to be very careful about using the anchors, because if you're not careful, you can really screw up you can roll your vehicle over, not screw it up, sorry. So this shows you the outlines of where your cables are going to be. So we're going to attach the load. You can see that we have lines that are not very taut, so we should be able to decrease the rope length. So we're going to raise the item up, like so. Go back to our train controls, that's wrong. Go up. Bring it in. And move it back over our truck, like so. Then we're going to toggle our anchors. And I'm going to drive slowly. Over here. I don't like every now and then that it throws the parking brake on. Okay, so we have this one here. We're just gonna crane functions, we're gonna move it over. You see where it's dropping. Then we're gonna toggle attach. Out. Really, we have to do, okay, fine. Oh, that's the wrong thing I'm doing. So toggle attach mode switches between a point or a specific one. Detach load. There we go. So we can do this, attach load. Bring it into the form. Once it's inside the squares, attach it. And it's now selected. It's going to force us to grab another one from where we just were, but this is more just to get you used to moving this. Now the center of gravity and the weights of... Oh, we went to the fucking storage. The weight of the load you have to be very careful with. Because if you have a very heavy load on the tip of your crane, you will flip it over. So we're just going to do both. We're going to bring it in and rotate. Detach. It's 3 of 6. Alright, so we need to cycle the target because we're having it on the lower item. This, grab, drag it over, it's over here, drop it, that's 4, attach, bring in the cables, and detach. Alright, we need one more. Toggle our anchors, then we're going to back up. Once again, being very careful because this vehicle pivot point is halfway through the vehicle. Wrong one. Put the anchor's down. I have flipped the vehicle far too many times to not be a little bit more careful. Okay. Toggle the anchors again. Now, you don't have to do this. You can leave these resources out around your base or your... What is this place called? Here it is. You can leave them there and just... Yeah, our base. While you're working in a level, you can just leave them laying around your base and just load them into your trucks as needed rather than trying to grab them out of your base storage. Okay, so we need to do... Hang on, our infrastructure. It's almost finished. We have 150 more XP, I guess that is, waiting for it. Plot a route from the abandoned facility. Oh, really? The route to deliver the generator. Okay. Oh, it's going this way. It can't go up here because it's going to be far too steep. We're going to have to move the truck as well. This is probably... Actually, that might not be a bad way to go. I don't know if the trucks will make it there, though. We can try it. I mean, if they get stuck, they get stuck. There's not much we can do about it. We just have to find a different path for them. Let's do this. If we make it too steep, the trucks will flip over. Now, I use a lot of points. You can really do this with fewer ones. Oh, hang on. No, it's going to be faster if we do it this way. Delete last point. So we're going to add that. Dispatch vehicles. We're going to go here. Enter this one. Disable the brake. No, not flattening. Marching. We need to open this door. There we go. Stop it. Just trying to get it to stop making that noise. Alright. Next objective. Alright, so the truck's made it through the mud. It's rarely that easy. Typically they'll just get completely stuck there and you have to... We would have to fill this with sand to make it so the trucks can actually traverse it. We probably have to cut down this tree. and then smooth out some of these road sections if the truck flips over. Now it's unlikely the trucks will flip over. This is just this tutorial area. It's very much teaching us, hey, this is how you look, this is how you move around the environment. And it's also trying to teach us that slow and steady is the best way to do things. Now the rocks on the road, they become a bigger issue later. Even the small ones that we're seeing now, that we want to clear them off the roads because they'll make the vehicles bounce far too much to be of any real use. Alright. Are you going to back up? Of course it's going to back up. Go ahead. Beautiful. Alright, that one's done. It is a successful route, so we're good with that. Objectives. I did that. There we go. I was like, fucking. Come on, game. Okay. So that's done. Track. Okay. In the loading area. Okay, so we need to track the resources. That is annoying. Did I hit one button for that? Sure. Bring resources. Oh.
Looks like you'll need to do some hauling. Take the cargo truck and load it up with the concrete slabs and steel beams. Then deliver it to the phosphate plant. And if you're in the mood for extra supplies, you could plot a route between the warehouse and the forward base. It's not essential, but it'll make things easier for you in the long run.
Alright, so the side objectives are typically worth doing if you have the time to do it, basically. Side objectives either give you money or they give you XP, both of which is very useful. And you see now that we have a cargo truck. The cargo truck, I would have... Hang on, does this one have a crane? No. There are cargo trucks that have cranes on them that you can then drive this around, pick up items, and just deliver it as needed. They are far more useful than just using a crane by itself. But the crane on the cargo truck lacks the power of the big crane there. So you have to kind of choose carefully, more or less, about what you're using and how you're using it. But what we're going to do is connect this. So we're going to go to our little... No, go to my vehicle. There we go. Turn this off, and what we're going to do is we're going to go back the way we came, because I know for a fact that the water around here is incredibly deep, and it's there to kind of trick you into driving through it. So we're just going to follow our tracks back and go back to where we came. Just be careful not to take turns too steeply. Oh, is our thing finished now? If that one is finished, we are going to turn it off. Go back to infrastructure. Oh, it canceled it already. Okay, that's... Oh, no, it didn't. Wait, no, it's just going to burn pipes. So this one's not... Okay, so it's showing it, but it's not... All rewards received. That one's finished. So we're just going to cancel the route. And we're good. No, I want to clear the route. There we go. No, I don't care. Once it's finished, I don't care about the route anymore. Because there's no reason for us to be sending trucks back there. I think if we need to, it's not that big of a deal. We can always remake it if we need it. Oh, that brakes on. The main reason why I cancel it is because you may find out that a route you already have is sending trucks for no reason, and they will impede other trucks you send. Why? No idea. Unless they fix that, that's the way it used to be. Slow down a little bit. Make this turn. Go straight on. Bump. All-wheel drive. You're gonna be like that, okay? Okay, let's try our winch. Oh, are you like this to prevent me from going back to this? Alright. Let's try the old angle approach. So the angle approach is if you go in at an angle, you still have 3 tires on the ground, but one's on the, there we go. Yes. So if you go at an angle where you only have 1 tire not getting traction, the other 3 will still provide enough to get you up and over it. Don't get hasty. Don't get impatient. Slow and steady. There we go. Careful, careful. Straight down. Beautiful. Yep, leave the rear differential on because we're still tracking in the mud. Alright. Now I try to send routes that we're doing with on roads that I've driven, so I know more or less like, hey, this is a dangerous spot. This is really deep, so we need to send the vehicles on the right side, not the left side. Stuff like that. We are going really fast. Slow down. Oh, and there's a bridge that's down, it looks like. Yeah, so the game is trying to get you to go this way through here and come over here. But all of that water is very, very deep, and it's going to screw you over, I can tell you. Oh. Okay, so we have deep ruts in mud. Scram. Okay, not bad. Truck is listing a bit. Careful. Now if we flip, we're going to end back at our base. Once we hit like a fairly straight road, we can go a bit faster. So it's just a bumpy road. No real pitfalls. That's good to know. There's a secondary road. Where is that gonna go? Is it up there? I'll have to look into that. That might be a better way to send our trucks than the road reset. Oh, there's also these big rocks everywhere. Okay. Aha, warehouse. Now we can't send them through a route that we do not know about. So we gotta take our scout vehicle, smack into the wall real quick, and uncover this road section. We can get a small sneak peek about the environment, but for the most part, we have to drive it. Now, as you uncover landmarks, it will uncover more of the map. And you'll actually have to uncover certain ones. Like, they'll be like, hey, restore power to this place over here. And you have to go there and see what's wrong and bring it all the supplies or resources that it needs to get fixed. Ooh, this is very, very rugged. Someone patched it. These patches can be very, very hazardous to the trucks because the entrance to these and the exit can be torn up really bad. This one looks like it's in decent shape though. So if you wanted to use this way, or if your trucks keep getting bogged down there, you have to fill it with sand. There's a lot of loose rocks here, though. But it's mostly dry. Careful. Ooh, careful, careful. So there's two options where we could send a path. One is off to the left here, or we can go down straight and make a 90-degree and go up. Kind of straight from there. How bad is this? Alright. Not terrible. Not terrible at all, really. Okay. Get off the road. Actually, let's make sure we know what. Oh, parked right on the rock. Hold on. Oh. Those might be an issue. Get our truck out of the way. Let's plan an infrastructure view. Let's start plotting. We have to go. Plot a route view. There's a follow. Heavy vehicles aren't really meant for off-roading, so we have to be kind of careful. I think we'll take the route we just discovered. It's too close. There-ish. Typically, I try not to cross over this, go back and forth from like the left side to the right side to the left side, unless we have to, because it's a great way for your trucks to flip. Good thing about these trucks is they don't go to the last point. They don't go very fast. Downside is they are heavy and they're not the smartest drivers. So if there's a rock or something in their way, they will just hit it and kind of hope that they can get by it. Should be able to get by this. I'm just going to put a point there and hope they can make it through. If not, we'll have to come through and move those trailers out of the way so the trucks can drive on that on that ground. Okay, we're up ahead. Dispatch vehicles. Well, that's happening. Let's open that. We need to bring stuff down to there. Okay. 3 slabs, 2 concrete beams. Okay. So we need to go to you. And the game will tell us if we are missing any, or if our route fails, so we don't have to really worry about it too much. Now we have slabs here. We're just going to use these slabs. Parking brake. Anchors on. We're going to switch vehicles. Brake off. This. We're going to put the beams on top of the concrete slabs. Forward a bit. Back up. There we go. This is where having multiple people here would be very, very useful. Camera. There we go. Select the target. Next. So we need 3 slabs. Isn't there a way to... Camera mode. There we go. So I can see what it is we're doing. Here. Nope, not right. Okay. And we want to rotate the load. And detach it. Back down. Attach. There we go. Detach the leg. How you place the load in the trucks affects how the truck will handle and if it's going to tip over or not. So if we put all these to one side, the truck is going to lean to that side whenever we go over any uneven ground. There we go. Let's see if we can do this. Who's gonna? That's gonna be stuck under the truck. Sometimes you can kind of just cheat it a little bit. This one, go length in. Oh, looks like our route was successful. There we go. Detach load. Beautiful. We now have 3 connected. Let's try 2. Vehicles. We now need to move. No. That's not the one I wanted. Enter, yes. If I can break off. Now, you really want to make sure that you have your cargo strapped down before you take off anywhere important. We need to, there we go. Now if we park our truck in here, it does nothing. It'll just spawn the things around our truck. Toggle anchors. Oh. My mistake. So we want to get it close enough so that we can place everything we need. Oh, no. Put the wheel straight. Oh, there it is. I was looking for attachment, but I couldn't see which one it was. Attach. Right. Now all we need to do is get this remote, get this over the truck. So tell you not to try and do that. That's what I was about to do. Move it away from the truck. Okay. Because I flipped over many a trucks trying to drag a piece of resource over the side. Rotate the other way, please. Thank you. Oh, if I have nothing. Oh, if I have nothing down, I can. If I'm not holding down the control button, I don't like how that's connected. There we go. That's better. Let's fold crane. That's a lovely little quality of life thing that we have for this. And that one's done. We don't need the crane anymore. We need our truck here. We're going to go to cargo handling. We're going to strap down the cargo. If the cargo does not get strapped down, it will not stay in our truck. And we got it pretty much evenly distributed. How is our infrastructure doing? Alright, we have remaining rewards 9, okay? Good. So we're going to follow the path we did with our original infrastructure. And you can see there's more concrete slabs laying around. Those we can take if we need them. We need to be careful with our speed, though. Remember, this is a game about patience. And right now, this vehicle, if we flip this vehicle, we have to drop all the cargo to basically get the vehicle back so we can use it again. Sometimes, if you have a powerful enough crane, you can flip the vehicle where it's at by bringing your crane truck over to it. But that means you then have to either unload the cargo and reload it, which could just be a giant pain depending on how far it is you're going. We only have to drive this into the zone. We don't have to unload it here. I think we just have to bring it to them and they'll take it from here. Nice and slow. We get to use the big crane now, I think. Yep, there it is.
The storm's coming in fast, so we need to get that flood wall up. Actually, you need that more than I do. I'm safe back at HQ, but the folks in that town aren't. So, Good luck.
1 per truck is going right now, so we need 8 more trucks to do that. Alright, so we need to build that. We're going to open that. So we need to move these objects where they are needed. So to do that, we need to enter the giant vehicle here. Please let me enter it. There we go. Same as we did with the truck. The same, not truck, the other crane. We need to attach that. And we just have to get it somewhat close to where we want it to go. This one will do the center. That's to... Nope, that's road rotation. Let's move her. Nope, that's that one. Trolley, that's what it is. Nope, wrong way. As long as we get it close enough, the game is very forgiving. Because if it was going to be very strict, then it may not be a good idea. It's not one of those simulator games. Get out, lower it. Rotating. Goodbye. Boom, baby. Rotating. Run this just far enough off the ground. Gotcha. 1 down, 2 to go. One more. Huzzah. Oh, beautiful. Just mwah, beautiful.
Jeez Louise, that was a close one. I was worried you weren't gonna pull it off. If you keep this up, I might start getting optimistic. At least for the company's stocks. They've been crashing lately, but you might have just turned the tide. Now, doesn't that make you feel good? Well, Savor it for all it's worth. Talk to you later.
All goals completed. So we completed the map, basically. Continue playing. Yes. So we can recycle things, which we'll have to do over time. But for the most part, we're going to try and find resources that are intact in the maps. So if we go back here, I think we had that one route that still has to do more resources to us. No, do not crash, please. So recycling is gonna come in handy where we find broken pieces and we just throw it to a recycling area. We have to bring certain color, we have to match the colors essentially. That scrap goes to scrap metal, concrete goes to concrete, and we can get various things if we want from those. Is our infrastructure done? No, it's still going. Alright, well, I think I'm going to wait for this to go through and finish delivering all our resources. Then we're going to move on to the next area, which we'll see next time, which is going to teach us some more mechanics and give us access to new vehicles. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Till then, bye-bye.